1040.com podcast. Your taxes, smart and simple. Hey, and welcome to the 1040.com podcast, episode 5. I'm Paul.
And I'm Sue.
How are you today?
I'm good. I'm running a little late, and I just want, for everyone who's watching on YouTube, yes, this is a coffee cup, and yes, we talked about saving money and not buying coffee from a coffee shop. I understand that. I just want to guard myself by saying it's black coffee, and I didn't have time to make coffee this morning, and we said in that podcast there are emergencies. This was an emergency. It's not like a $17 pumpkin spice
I was going to say,
dream.
we did give ourselves a little leeway, but you saved yourself.
I did.
Good.
So sometimes you just need it.
Yeah, I made my coffee extra strong this morning because I was feeling a little sleep deprived, and hey, you know, sometimes you just got to do it. So Sue said, what did you ask me?
I was like, hey, what'd you put in it to make it stronger?
Yeah, what did you put in it? And the answer is, it's not what I put in it, it's what I did not put in it, and that was water. I just put like half the amount of water in it.
He just scooped coffee grounds
Yeah,
into
it
his
was
mouth
gross,
and
but
just
whatever. We're here. It's a good day. It's a good day. And we hope you're doing well, and hope you're enjoying the podcast so far. Mm-hmm. Like we said, this is episode 5. I feel like we've covered a pretty wide array of topics, and today we're going to be coming at you with some more ways to save money, and it's all about fitness today.
Woo!
Bum, 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 bum.
Yes.
Right?
And Paul's going to be in the hot seat today. Usually it's kind of Paul is leading the questions, and I'll kind of answer, and we'll kind of add in. But Paul is our fitness guru. In that he does fitness more than I do. So today Paul is going to be our resident expert.
Yeah.
This.
Well, let's be easy on the word choice there. Yeah.
It'll be good. He knows stuff.
Some stuff.
But yeah, so we're going to be talking about ways that you can save specifically for fitness.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be telling you how to live your fitness life, right?
Yeah, that's what we were talking about before. I said, we need to make it clear that we're not trying to be fitness coaches, because that's not it. We are a tax company, and we've got some really good ways for you to save money when you're exercising or looking at joining a gym or whatever it might be.
Good stuff.
You ready?
Yes,
Let's
I'm ready.
go.
All right, so the first thing that we wanted to talk about is where you draw the line between saving money on nutrition and supplements. So a lot of people spend money on supplements, or they focus more on nutrition. Like, what's some ways that people can save on that?
Yeah, so there's some really technical things that people will say, you know, no more than 30% of your daily, nutrition should be supplements and blah, blah, blah. You can read up on that and figure out what works best for you. But from a financial standpoint, it's easy to get wrapped up in supplements, proteins, and pre-workouts and post-workout carb replacements. And my thought is always this: eat whole food, and just meal prep. Do whatever you can to always have whole food on you. And by that, I'm talking about chicken and bananas and rice and vegetables, whatever it is you like, to avoid supplements. Supplements are not cheap, and there is a time and a place for them, but there's a better way to go by doing whole food, so having meals with you during the day, and also, going back to our saving money on food. It's a better thing in the long run. So There is a time and a place for supplements, and depending on where you're at in your fitness journey, or what kind of exercise you're doing, you might need some protein in the form of a shake or something. But just look at the cost and look at, how big the bag is, and how many servings that gets you and those kinds of things. And then compare that to what protein you would get from a whole food, and is it cheaper to get a big old bag of chicken and cook it at once and go from there? So.
Chicken and bananas. It's good
Chicken
stuff.
and bananas. Yeah, mash it all up. No,
Ew. Put it in a blender and go.
Yeah. Ugh.
That would be a struggle.
Yeah.
So supplements should be more of like a catch-all and less of a, I need protein. Okay, I'm going to go get.
Yeah, I mean, that would just be really expensive to get, especially if you're doing like macros or something where you're talking like you're trying to hit a certain amount of protein in a day. That'd be super expensive. You'd be cranking through bags, and a bag of protein can be anywhere from $30 to $70.
Right.
It just depends what you're buying.
I definitely eat a lot of like protein shakes. You can see I'm jacked.
Yeah.
If you're just listening in, trust me, like I'm a monster.
Yeah, and if you don't think she is, it's the camera angle.
Yeah.
Like, we gotta get a better angle so people can see.
It's pretty much. Yeah. It's pretty intimidating. Okay, so the next thing we wanted to talk about is a lot of times people will go and they will see commercials for at home exercise regimens, that sort of thing, and they will go and they'll get it and they'll be really excited, and then they get home and it's like, okay, my living room is not the gym.
Yeah.
So like what are some ways that people could kind of like have some foresight on the beginning, like, okay, is this going to be good for me and for my space?
Yeah, I think it comes down to personality type. So my wife, for example, is really good at doing home exercise DVDs, or now it's like Amazon and these different, online apps through your smart TV, whatever. She can get a yoga mat out and like some weights and just like scoot the coffee table back and go to town. I cannot do that at all. I'm like, this is my living room. I don't want to sweat in my living room. And I need group setting. So I think understanding your personality type, in general, like I like to be around people, just knowing what you would fit in best with, and then also making sure you have the right space. So I think that's kind of where it comes down to. You'll roll your yoga mat out and it's like curled up on the walls on each side. So it's like, clearly we don't have enough room here. So if you think, for time's sake or for personality's sake, whatever it is, if the home route is the way to go for you, just make sure you've got a good space. And it might mean, finding a bigger room in your house, even where the TV is not located, and doing the exercise off an iPad, or off a lot of them are apps now, and you just have to listen to it and learn the movement and then listen as they call them out. But just find space and make sure that the space works well for you.
For sure. I know one thing with me is I got one and I was like, I'll just do this. I can just do this in my room. And there is something distinctly uncomfortable about getting into a really sweaty workout on carpet, even if you have like your yoga mat. It's just like, oh no. And it's just, I think it's mostly just in my head, but I'm just like, I just don't want to do burpees on a carpet.
Yeah, well, not to mention like your elbows would just be like worn out by the end of that.
Yeah, just wear elbow pads. Put on elbow pads.
Your knees, your elbows.
Maybe like some bubble wrap, get a yoga mat, do it on your carpet.
Yeah.
Some people can do that. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work.
It works for people, I think, is the bottom line. Like, for certain people, that's where they're going to thrive at.
Exactly.
And, not to mention, some of these home programs, just like any other fitness regimen, they're not cheap, all right? So, the last thing you want to do... Sorry, I got hair on my nose or something. The last thing you want to do is invest in this and then not do it.
Exactly.
So I think we're going to kind of get into that in a little bit. But... the space. Make sure your space is good and your personality is the right fit to be able to come home after a long day. That's the other thing. Like we have good intentions about doing it at home because it fits in our schedule, when really we'd be better off just driving to a gym or, a pool, whatever it is you do, some kind of class with accountability. We get home and lay on the couch and it's like, that's over.
Yeah, for sure. I feel you on that. So the last thing we want to talk about is kind of talking about what you were saying with going to the gym. A lot of the reason people don't go to the gym is just they think that a gym membership is too expensive.
Yeah.
Or they don't want to go out with a group because they're like, it's just too much money per month, that sort of thing. So talk about like, at what point is that worth it, and is it worth it to get invested in something like that?
Yeah, so, in talking before this, we made the point that a gym membership not used is more expensive than a gym membership used, right? So, in that saying, buying one and then just not using it is absolutely a waste of money. But buying one, even if it is expensive and you're having to cut some things out of your budget, if that's what you want to be doing and that's, where you want to be, then it's absolutely worth it. I think as we age and get older, or even if we're young, always focusing on health and fitness, it would never be a waste of money.
Right.
So, I think too, like finding where you want to be. So for you, I'm gonna tell the world.
Oh boy,
that
here's
Sue
my secret.
Is a ninja.
I'm not a ninja.
What do you take karate?
I take karate.
Yeah.
Yes, not a ninja
a
yet.
Ninja.
I'm one belt above the baby belt.
Is that
so
yellow?
Your
yellow belt.
Not a ninja yet.
Okay, but the point is, I don't know. I think it's awesome.
It is fun. It's really cool.
You found something you like.
Exactly.
Right? So no matter what the cost is, you go, you're consistent. How many times a week do you go?
I go 3 times a week, and that's an hour each time. And one of those days it's for 2 hours.
There you go. So like 3 to 4 hours a week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things for me because I'm very much like a people person. I want to have a group. I kind of want to have a coach, that sort of thing. So whereas, some of my friends are really great, either working at a gym or working at home, that sort of thing, I really like to have that family and that accountability. Like, if I'm just trying to motivate myself, I don't really ever go, and it's more expensive, but I go every single week, and that's worth it to me. So it's like, in a way, it's looking at saving money not as an amount of money, but like how valuable that money is.
There you go. Yeah. So the value of community and the friendship, and then the fitness on top of that. Yeah.
For sure.
That's the same thing for me. I do like group workout, so there's anywhere from like 10 to 20 people in this class. And the value for me is you can't replace it, because I've done other types of workouts and it just didn't, I hated it. Like, it was a chore, and now this is fun. So I think like the value that I spend, monthly is totally worth it. Now, if I was only going like once or twice a week, it wouldn't be. And it's something to think about, with wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. I know the gym I go to, we have like a punch card system. So if you're not going like 4, 5, 6 times a week, which some people do that, right? It's okay. We just call them crazy. If you're going that much, the unlimited, whatever it is worth it. But if you're looking for like a 2 or 3 times, they have a punch card, and it's more beneficial for people to go that route financially. And every time you go, it takes one visit off your card. And you can kind of come in if you're traveling a lot. You're only home, for a few weeks out of the month or a couple days out of the month, depending on your schedule. Get a punch card. See if your gym has something that allows you to kind of be flexible and not feel like you're shelling out all this money and not getting your full value.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. And I wanted to jump back to supplements real quick, because one thing, it's easy to get wrapped up in like feeling like you need to have these things. Like, let's say, like, I know for me, just personally, like when I started, exercising like consistently, you start seeing all these brands and companies that you didn't know existed. And it might be the same in karate. It's like you start out in like sweatpants and a t-shirt, and do you wear shoes? You're barefoot? Yeah, so
shoes. No shoes.
No shoes. Okay, so then you get started though, and it's like there's like some sweet karate company that makes, what is it called?
A gi.
Yeah, they make that, and you can get like different colors and like different fit or whatever. For us it was like shoes and workout shorts. It's like you got to be comfortable.
Lululemon.
Yeah, but like know like what you really do need and what would just be excess at that point. And like shoes are the one that was a big one for me, because I love shoes in general, and it's like all these companies put out like their new like workout shoe like each year, and it's like, oh, I got to get the latest model. It's like, but you really don't. The soles on my workout shoes now are like about to come off, and it's like, okay, now I actually do need shoes. It's the same with supplements. It's like, was I buying that stuff before? No. And it's, do I actually need it now? Maybe so, but maybe not. Know where you're at, so you're not just spending money because everyone around you is. And for me, these drinks, we sell them at the gym, and I love them, but they're not very cheap. So I was getting them every day, and it's like now putting a limit to that. So on Friday, it's like a Friday treat. End of the week, you made it. There's a 2-for-1 kind of deal on Fridays, so I get 2.
I was going to say, I was like, he's talking about not getting supplements, and I'm like, you've got a supplement on the table.
No. And that's it, or if you, going back to like people that travel, if you need to travel, supplements are a great thing you can take with you. Like airports and, hotels and restaurants, it can be hard to like stay eating on your regular schedule. So in that case, supplements might be a good thing for you. I think really what we're saying is find something you like, stick with it. That money cannot be replaced, whatever you're spending on it. Know what you need as far as supplements or clothing or whatever, and don't go crazy with it. And then just whatever it is, stick with it.
Absolutely.
I kind of made that point in the front too, but I think that's like the most important thing.
Absolutely.
The worst thing we could do is spend money and not be there.
Yeah.
On anything we're doing.
Yeah, that's
on
the
anything
truth.
we're doing.
Alrighty, awesome. Well, those are some ways that you can save on your own personal fitness journey, wherever that is taking you. Just really quickly, as we wrap up, just a couple of quick tax announcements and that sort of thing. Just so you know, if you filed an extension back before April 17th this year to get that extra 6 months to file your taxes, that deadline is coming up pretty quick. So that's going to be October 16th. So if you haven't filed yet and you do have an extension, make sure that you go and file your tax return before October 16th. Another thing, we wanted to address any victims of Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma. The IRS is providing some tax relief that you may qualify for. So if you go to the irs.gov site, right there on their homepage, they have a link that will tell you more about some potential tax relief that you may qualify for. So go check that out for sure. Our hearts go out to you if you were involved with either of those. So we just wanted to mention that briefly.
Yeah.
The last thing is next week we are going to have a guest on the 1040.
Well, maybe not next week though.
Not next week.
Episode.
Sorry. Next episode.
Yeah.
We're going to have a guest on the podcast. Her name is Sydney, and she is one of our tax specialists. She's going to be talking about self-employment. And so doing taxes for self-employment, like what's the difference between a hobby and a side hustle and actually being fully self-employed. So it's going to be really awesome.
That's gonna be
Tune
cool.
in.
Yeah.
She's really awesome. Super, super cool.
And really smart.
Really very smart.
When it comes to taxes.
Yes.
And I'm sure other things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's
That's
like our little, what did I call it? The Wizard of Oz.
Yes,
she's
she's
in
awesome.
the closet telling us what to say.
It's good
So you're going to
stuff.
get to meet her. It's going to be fun.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you again next time.
Yeah. See you soon.